What's going on, everybody? You got Tone here, bringing you guys my team builder and battle for week number 3 of season 7 of the CPC, where this week the Cleveland Indiancies are taking on the Arizona Dactyls, coached by Volume. And before I go any further in the video, I do want to apologize with this video being out later than normal. Mainly had to deal with final exams, and on top of that, I am still feeling the effects of a cold, so if you hear me like coughing or sniffling, whatever the case may be, I do apologize in advance. So just letting you know that from now. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in regards to the into why this video hasn't been out since Wednesday. I just finished Wednesday. I'm recording this on Thursday night, the day after my exams are finished. So that's pretty much all I want to say about that. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the matchup here. So we're coming off of a tough loss, 3-0 loss to the Ohio State Sauce Buckeyes in our last battle. So we're 0-2, taking on Volume as Arizona Dactyls. He is 2-0, and he has a very formidable team consisting of the Lander Asterian, Volcanian, Mega Scizor, Thunderous Incarnate, Nihilego, Hoopa Unbound, Comfey, Delmise, Hitmontop, and Ghastly, with his Z users being Lando T and the Comfey. So, just looking at his team from on paper, you can see it's like a very top-heavy team, like Lando T, Hoopa, like the first 7 mons are like very formidable, and then the last 3 are just like support or like filler mons in some way, shape, or form. But regardless of how uncommon the last 2 mons, well, especially the Ghastly at the last slot, but despite that, Volume is a very formidable battler. His team is still ridiculously scary, and I didn't want to get caught off guard by anything, so I tried my best to prep for everything on his team. So jumping right into this matchup, I'm going to try to speed up the team builders a little bit faster, if only because of the fact that the cold is still like working against me in terms of my thinking and whatnot. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the team. So the first Pokemon is a Charty Berry Thunder Asterian with Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, U-Turn, and Smart Strike with 80 attack, 252 special attack, 176 speed with a naive nature. This is enough to outspeed max speed Landers, and everything slower than that. So this is just my way of checking like Swords Dance Lando with Stone Edge. I can live an unboosted Stone Edge from Lando from full. I can take on Nihilego with Charty Berry and then retaliate with Nihilego with Smart Strike if I'm able to catch that on the switch. Hidden Power Ice for the Lando, obviously. Thunderbolt for general stab coverage, and U-Turn for momentum and allowing me to hit the Hoopa Unbound harder. Nothing much else to say in terms of the investment. It's a very straightforward offensive set here, just trying to hit as hard as I possibly can with my Thunder Asterian. So next up, we have our Chandelure Choice Specs, finally bringing Chandelure for the first time this season, with Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, and Trick. Just a very straightforward max special attack, max speed. Timid Nature to speed tie with Hoopa Unbound. Just looking at his team, I saw he had no Ghost Resist, so I figured Choice Specs Shadow Ball was extremely spammable. I mean, he does have mons that are bulky enough to take a hit from Chandelure. Like, Hoopa Unbound can definitely take a hit. Hitmontop and Nihilego after like Assault Vest or EV, specifically to take on Chandelure, they can definitely take a hit. But overall, I just felt like Choice Spec Chandelure just looked very, very nice in this matchup. So that's pretty much all I want to say about Chandelure, just my general wall breaker for this team. Next up is my Drapion with Figgy Berry and Battle Armor, Poison Jab, Knockoff, Taunt, Swords Dance, specially defensive with max HP, 120 special defense, 136 speed with a Jolly Nature. If I recall correctly, this lets me outrun, last thing I remember, I think this lets me outrun Volcanion, if I'm not mistaken. Either Volcanion or like a max speed Mega Scizor. I'm not entirely sure. Leaning more towards the no, it's outspeeds Hoopa. I'm sorry. I'm almost sort of out of it. I do apologize. Like it outspeeds Hoopa. I made sure I tried to outspeed that, and everything slower than the Hoopa. This is my dedicated switch in to the Hoopa Unbound, even though I do not have X Scissor on this Drapion. This allows me to take any particular set, quote unquote. I can Sword Stance, get some damage off that way. It also allows me to switch in and check the Comfey if it's not like Calm Mind HP Ground, which can be a bit problematic for this team. Well, Comfey in general can be problematic. So, and then Dual Stab, kind of really all I wanted in this matchup. Like X Scissor is kind of pointless if I was going to bring Knockoff and Sword Stance, excuse me. And if I'm able to prevent something like Mega Scizor from going for Roost or Sword Stance, then or Curse, let me not forget that, then it's a win-win in my case. So that's pretty much the idea with Drapion, just my general response to Hoopa Unbound. Then next up is my Mega Pidgeot with Hurricane, Hidden Power Ground, U-Turn, and Roost with 24 HP, max special attack, and 232 speed with a modest nature. This allows me to outspeed Nihilego, and everything slower than that. I could have outsped Thundurus, but at the same time, if he did bring like Prankster T-Wave on his Thundurus, then it kind of wouldn't have mattered regardless. And Mega Pidgeot doesn't really deal with Thundurus in general, or like to stay in, and that's kind of why I just wanted to go outspeed Nihilego. I can at least check that thing if it's not Scarfed. I can check Hoopa if it's not Choice Scarf as well. And I also Hurricane just looked very nice and spammable against his team. Of course, the main issue is if he has like Calm Mind Comfey once, like I said before. So that's pretty much the mindset with my Mega Pidgeot not outspeeding Thundurus. It's not like I'm going to try to stay in on Thundurus in the first place, and it won't really do me any good. And the added power for Hurricane and Hidden Power Ground, it just does a lot better for this matchup. And Mega Scizor will always have to fear the Heat Wave, so so with that, I didn't really decide to put it on. I didn't put Heat Wave on Mega Pidgeot because it essentially only hit Mega Scizor, and a modest max special attack Hurricane will still do a good amount of damage to a Scizor, regardless if it's like specially defensive invested or whatnot. And I value having Hidden Power Ground to 2 KO Nihilego a lot more in this matchup. So that's pretty much it for Mega Pidgeot, and then U-Turn for momentum and Roost for longevity. Then next up we have Garchomp, very straightforward offensive Stealth Rock set with Sword Stance, Outrage, and Earthquake with Dragonium Z. Max attack, 168 speed, enough to outspeed Landorus, and the rest is thrown into HP to give us some more bulk. This is my check to stuff like Nihilego, just a very straightforward offensive Stealth Rock set, nothing much more to say in that regard. If I'm able to get the Sword Stance and its Landorus is not Scarf, if it's more of a defensive set, I can potentially blow that thing back with a +1 Z Outrage. And then lastly is my Necrozma with Weakness Policy, Autotomized Photon Geyser, Heat Wave, and Signal Beam with max HP, 24 special attack, 232 speed. The speed is enough for Volcanion, or it's either Volcanion, like max speed Volcanion and Adamant or Modest Hoopa, I want to say. I don't remember off the top of my head. I did play this game like a week ago, so nothing's like clicking in my head in terms of the speed tiers. But this was my late game win con. If I'm able to get up an Autotomize on something, after an Autotomize, I outspeed everything up to a Choice Scarf Nihilego, if I'm not mistaken, and the rest is just thrown in special attack to boost the power of the Necrozma special attacks. If I'm able to get hit with a super effective hit, like I'm expecting with like Hoopa, I can live the hit because of my bulk get to activate my weakness policy, and if I'm able to keep myself out of range of stuff like Mega Scissor's Bullet Punch, and if he decides to bring like Sucker Punch on Hitmontop, then I should be in the clear for a late game sweep with my Necrozma. So that is pretty much a team builder. Again, I do apologize, this is a bit rushed, but I want to get this out. And without further ado, let's just hop right into battle and see how we go. Alright, so here we go with the battle, guys. And as you see, like, volume brought all the 6 main threats I was expecting. Bring the Lando T, Mega Scizor, Hoopa Unbound, Thundurus, Volcanion, and the Nihilego. Yeah, nothing really surprises me about this matchup in terms of what he brought. Maybe he could have brought the Comfey, but at the same time, Comfey does struggle a little bit considering I had a Chandelure, Ferrothorn, and whatnot. So, in terms of a lead, I figured my best lead would be the Mega Pidgeot, because at the very least, if he let off with something like, I was trying to catch his lead to be either the not the Volcanion, but mainly the Mega Scizor. I was hoping he would try to get his Mega off early to try to get the added bulk to check stuff like the my Garchomp. He also could have led Landorus, but if he led Landorus, I kind of was like in the mindset of this thing could potentially be Scarf, but I'm also thinking it's most likely going to be his Stealth Rocker. So I figured I'd try to play some sort of assess the situation turn 1. So with all that said and done, I'm going to just start the game and see how we do. So like I said, I'm going to start off with lead off with my Mega Pidgeot here, as he is going to lead off with his Landorus. So I did not really know what to do turn 1 here, because like I said, this could be a Choice Scarf Landorus, and I also want to say ahead of time, I did not do any calcs or whatnot until after the battle was over. So I obviously didn't want to calc Stone Edge because I figured I was going to die anyway if he was, but it would just give me a free switch into Garchomp. So I'm just going to play the safe. I think I'm going to play it safe and switch out. Oh, I stayed in Hurricane to see if he was indeed if the Landorus was Scarf, but the way he switched out in Nihilego makes me assume that the Landorus is not Scarf. It could potentially be a setup variant. It could be Stealth Rock's Z-move. Again, I didn't get any information. I figured Hurricane was the safer play. And here, turn 2, I figured that he went hard into his Nihilego. I figured this was most likely a Choice Scarf set, but again, the possibility of him being Scarf was like not playing out in my head, because it kind of would make sense to Nihilego be Choice Scarf, considering I have like one of the biggest checks responses to Nihilego in Ferrothorn. Although I didn't bring it in this game, I still felt like anything was possible. So instead of just clicking Hidden Power Ground here like I should have, I decided to play it safe. I decided to go out into my Garchomp as he goes for rocks. So since I see his Nihilego as a Stealth Rocker, I'm sort of now terrified of the Landorus, because this means his Landorus is now looking more and more like setup. And with that being the case, if he gets a Sword Dance and a Rock Polish up, I essentially lose. Like, I straight up lose to set up Lando T, and that was one of the main things that scared the crap out of me in this matchup. So what I'm going to do here, I'm playing it safe, I believe, so I think I'm just going to click Earthquake here, as he's just going to go back out to his Landorus as I click Earthquake. I don't want to mess around here, so now I'll go for Sword Dance here, and he's going to reveal Hidden Power Ice and do 56% to me. So now I see Hidden Power Ice, and I've already essentially committed to Garchomp trying to, well, not trying to win here, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I can go for my Z move, because he didn't bring Comfey. Z Outrage was looking pretty free. The other play I could have made was try to predict the Scizor coming in, but at the same time, I'm like, why would he ever go Scizor when he can just knock me out with the next Hidden Power Ice? And if he decides to go the trade-off of sacking off Landorus to weaken my Garchomp, then he's already succeeded in doing that. So I'm just going to go for the Z move, +1 Z Outrage, no Nothing real to say about that. And apparently I got a low roll in that situation. Like, considering that after the match he told me this was a max HP, max defense, impish Landorus, so it had no speed investment. I kind of figured it had to be defensive once I saw Hidden Power Ice and it wasn't set up. So in that regard, it was kind of like, oh man, that was like the worst possible turn of events for this, because now that I lost my Garchomp, it essentially means that his Nihilego can just freely spam Power Gem with no drawback whatsoever. Which sucks because I don't want to reveal Charty Berry on my Thundurus just yet. But considering that his Landorus is not Choice Scarf, I figured the most optimal thing to do is to go out into my Thundurus now and click Hidden Power Ice, because there's like no reason not to. He goes back into Nihilego, over Hidden Power Ice, do 17. And here I'm like, okay, I have Charty Berry on this specifically for either the Landorus or the Nihilego. Since the Landorus is not Scarf, it's not set up, I'm like, okay, he goes for Power Gem, I click Smart Strike, I knock this thing out. And everything will be fine. So, like I said, I'm just gonna make that play, go for the Smart Strike. I have Smart Strike on this thing specifically for this Nihilego. The only way it doesn't work out is if he's Berry or something like that. But he's gonna go for Power Gem. I eat my Charty Berry, live on 11%. I go for Smart Strike, and it turns out it's another low roll in that I got. And like just looking at this play, like this play made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like after I failed to knock out Nihilego with Smart Strike, nothing on my team had Defog. So there was literally no reason for me to go into Drapion of all things to take a Power Gem, because I needed Drapion for the Hoopa. I should have just let my Thundurus go down, gone out into my Pidgeot, and clicked Hidden Power Ground. It was a no drawback play. I mean, I even Hidden Power Ground, click Hurricane, because Nihilego was begin to the point where I don't even need to click Hidden Power anymore. So yeah, me making this play in the Drapion was like a very dumb play. I think I made this play, I think it was more of a frustration play, if anything, because of the fact that like I got back-to-back low rolls on like the worst, on like the Landorus and now the Nihilego, and they're still alive, and I'm like, this cannot be happening. Like, I'm having a very off game. But still, regardless of the low rolls, this was still a very horrible play on my part by going into Drapion. So, because it essentially just means that it gets 2 KO'd by Power Gem for no reason whatsoever. So, now I go into my Necrozma here. I'm trying to save face by setting up with Autotomize, but again, I had no reason to make this play so early. Like, okay, so basically, like, I think I'm just playing out this game because I'm like, okay, I think I essentially lost to the, it was more the sense that I essentially lost to, like, everything. Essentially, I would have lost, if it's anything, I lost to Thundurus at this point, if I didn't make this play now. But now that I'm weakened, I'm at +2 speed, the problem is Scizor can come in and Bullet Punch me, knock me out. I go out into my Chandelure, and it's just looking like it's just going very, very downhill from there. So now, instead of going to Scizor, he actually goes on to Hoopa here, and I go for Signal Beam. He reveals he's Tanga Berry, and he steals my weakness policy, excuse me. And I go into my Mega Pidgeot. I go for Hurricane, I believe. Yeah, I go for U-turn out into my Chandelure, and it's essentially going to be game here. He goes for Thunderbolt. He paralyzes me. I don't get parried, but Spec Shadow Ball isn't going to be enough to knock out the Thundurus, and he just clicks Thunderbolt 2 times and essentially wins the game 5-0. So again, I'm sorry about the poor like narration of how the game turned out, but like the game in and of itself was like very, very poorly played on my part. In no way, shape, or form did I deserve to win. Like I played like absolute crap, and yeah. Me talking with this call was kind of annoying. So again, I do apologize that this is sort of short narrated. Just wanted to put this video out. I know it's optional, but wanted to put the match out. GG to Volume. He definitely had the better team. He didn't have the. It wasn't. I don't want to say he had the better matchup, but he. It's hard to say. This game had no hacks, but I think it was just more frustration on my part with the rolls, with the low roll on the +1 Z outrage on the Landorus, and then the low roll on the Smart Strike on my Thunder Asterion to his Nihilego, and essentially just throwing away Mons left and right after that low roll with a Smart Strike. So yeah, I'll try to bounce back. 0-3 is not the best way. Not the way I wanted to start, and I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I'm gonna start like deconstructing my team. Like the team is all right. I just need to find a better. I just need to use it better. That's essentially what it comes down to. So, in any case, I'm going to end it right there. Still hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next time, this is Tone, signing out for now. Peace out.